Hello there, it's Alana Taki, and I'm back to share more calculator instructions with you. This time we're going to go over how to find a logarithm of any kind you want with your calculator. All right, now I know you're thinking, Alana, you're crazy. The calculator doesn't have any kind of logarithm, it only has this logarithm. No, you would not be correct. First of all, there are two logarithm buttons on a calculator. Now this one's kind of obvious because it says LOG, right? Pretty straightforward. LOG is base 10. And if you ever forget that, you can remind yourself of it because look what's above the LOG button. If you hit second, which, here, I'll do it. Second, 10. Let me just put in 5 for the heck of it. And then go over here to my right arrow and press enter. You know what that'll be? I bet it'll be 5. You know why? Because they're inverses of each other, right? That's why they put them together on the same button. It's like those calculator people knew what they were doing, right? Incidentally, that's why x squared and the square root go together on the same button as well. Right? So LOG is base 10, so 10 to the x, they're inverses. So that's one logarithm button. But there's another logarithm button, and it's right below it, ln. That's the natural logarithm, which we'll learn more about in a later section. But that's log base e. E is was called the natural constant, nature's constant. It's Euler's constant. Euler spelled E-U-L-E-R, Leonhard Euler, who was one of the guys that figured it out to a great extent. Let's put it that way. Although apparently the fact that it uses his initial was just coincidence. At least that's what they claim. All right, so ln and e to the are also inverses of each other, right? So if I put in any number, like I picked 5 again, ta-da! All right, so the calculator will do log base 10, and it'll do ln, which is base e. Two different logarithms, so you're going to get two different answers. Cool. Now, that's great if the problem gives you log base 10 or log base e, but what if it gives you log base 6, like this one does? Well, then what are you supposed to do? There are two methods. Okay, so there's the old way of doing it, which is the change of base formula. Okay, so what you do, let me clear my key history here, is you take the log of 55, close your parentheses, very, very important. Then you divide by the log of your base, which in our case was 6. Now this is base 10 for both of them. Ta-da! Right? And what I'm using is this this base 10 logarithm form, but it's just this guy, but with base 10, right? Basically saying you can change the base of any logarithm you want. If you don't like the base b, then make it base a. But of course, the most common ones we would pick would be log, because that's base 10. Your calculator does it. And actually, ln is the other one, right? Because the calculator does that as well, although that's not in this section. All right, so that's how to do it. By the way, I could do it ln 55, close parentheses, divided by ln 6. Because ln is another logarithm. As long as you're consistent, it's cool. Right? As long as I do log over log or ln over ln, you'll get the right answer. Those are both with the change of base formula. They're kind of the more old school way of doing it. But there's a new way. If you have the newest operating system, and you can tell if you do, I'm pretty sure if I go to memory, which is above your plus sign, and I look at the about, there, 2.55, which is the operating system, right? So I have the 2.55 operating system. If you've got that operating system, then you can do the method I'm about to show you. All right, so let me clear my history and clear out of here because I don't really want to be in here. All right, so I'm going to press math, and it's actually at the bottom of this list, so I'm going to press up, and that takes you to the bottom of the list. Neat, huh? I don't know if you knew that. All right, so I can cycle up, and there it is. It's log base, which is letter A. So you can actually either do alpha log A or alpha button A, or you could just move to it and press enter, either way. And you can see the log base formula creates this kind of operation for you, and then you can type in what your base is. So in my case, it's 6, and then it's got the little right cursor arrow, so I'm going to press right arrow, and it moves me out of there into the actual logarithm operation. And then I'm going to type 55, and then I'm going to press enter. Ta-da! There it is. So there's 3 different ways to do it. So you can do any logarithm you want as long as it's all numbers. Of course, if there was x or y in here, you'd be in big trouble, right? But if you have numbers, you can do it. So you can either do log over log, you can do ln over ln, or if you're lucky enough to have the new operating system, you can just type it in like that. Cool. Cool, huh? All right, so that's how to do any logarithm you want. Now, before I leave here, I think I want to do something just a little bit trickier for you, because I think this, once you get used to it, it's not too bad at all. But what would you do if there were variables in it? So let me just look at this next problem for a second. So what if you want to try to graph some stuff? Here, let me move this over so we can all see. There we go. Okay. Oh, for the love of goodness, come here. Move over. I'm fighting with my Windows thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to y equals, and I want to get it to type this stuff in, right? Now the right side is easy. I'm just going to do that real quick. 3 to the x, move out of there with my right arrow, plus 2. Now it's doing all of that stuff because I have the new operating system. Notice how nice it is to type with. If you don't have the new operating system, you can download it either from a friend's calculator that has it or from a computer if you have a cord to connect your calculator to your computer. So I would highly, highly recommend it. All right, so let me do the logarithm one the hard way, which will be with the change of base way, because that's going to be a little bit harder. LogBase will be actually quite simple, so I'll do it both ways. So let me do the change of base way because that's trickier. So I'll do log x plus 6, close my parentheses, divided by log 3, close my parentheses, plus, so that was all that first logarithm, right? Log of x plus 6 divided by log of 3 gets me the first part, plus 3 log x plus 8, close parentheses, divide by log 4, close parentheses. So it's kind of tedious. You can do it, but it's kind of long. Okay. All right, so if I graph it, let me do zoom 6. I think this graph's on a standard window. All right, so there's the 3 to the x plus 2, no shockers there. And then there's the logarithm function. See? So it hits in a couple spots, and if you want to find the intersection points, I know it's out of our leagues here, but we've already done this before. Second, calc, pick intersection, which is number 5. Enter, that's your first curve. Enter, that's your second curve. And then the guess, you've got 2 of them. You've got one over here on the left and one over here on the right. You got to move your cursor with the left or right arrow to get closer to whichever one you want. So if I want this one on the left, I need the blinky cursor guy to get closer to the one on the left. And then I press enter. I press the left arrow 20 times there. See? All right, and there's that one intersection. And then if you want to find the other one, you got to go second, calc, intersect. Yes, that's my first curve, enter. Yes, that's my second curve, enter. Yes, got to move right, 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 right. And honestly, as long as the blinker's closer to the one on the right, you're going to find it, but the closer you get, the more accurate it's going to be because of the algorithm it runs. And there it is. Cool? All right, so that's how to do it with the longhand way. If you want to do the LogBase way, if you have the new operating system, let me just turn this, actually, let me just clear this one. Here, clear it up. You would do math LogBase, and you would say, okay, I want the LogBase 3, right arrow, x plus 6, then move the right arrow out of there so that you're not inside that parentheses anymore, then plus 3, and then you got to do LogBase again, so math LogBase, and then 4 is your base, so put 4 in there, and then move your right arrow out of there, x plus 8. All right, and it'll be the same graph. There's the 3 to the x plus 2 getting graphed, and then there's the other one. Okay. All right, I hope that helps you figure out how to do any logarithm you want, whether you want to find the actual values with the LogBase formula or the change of base formula using the calculator, right? LogBase function, I should say, or when you have variables and you need to graph it. All right. I'll see you back here for more videos.